everyone, Neve here, and today I have an exciting new deck. This is a Kickstarter that I backed. It is the Wonder World Tarot by Push Kitty, and yeah, I'm really excited to get that I got this. And this, oh, I never read the back here. It said, to all who wield this little deck of whimsy, I am so happy to experience this sweet slice of nostalgia with you. Join me as we wander down the rabbit hole of wonder into little Alice's world, reimagined the Push Kitty way. Love, Amy. And Amy is the creator of a lot of these Push Kitty decks, or, you know, she's... yeah. Anyway, so it came, I've already gone through this deck and shuffled it a whole bunch and kind of played with it already. I did put it all back in order for this walkthrough. It came wrapped in this cute tissue paper with these yellow squigglies and this cute Alice sticker right there. It also came with a thank you from Amy at Push Kitty. It came with a little sticker for one of their other tarots. If I remember the name of this tarot, I'll put it on the screen. And then a little sticker of the High Priestess for this deck. Let me see if I can really show it there. It's quite tiny, so there we go. A very tiny sticker. Ooh, and this I like. This is a one of the their tiles for the little Buddha tarot, and I really like the little Buddha tarot, like, a lot. I am probably eventually going to get the tile set of the little Buddha. But yeah, so I got the Two of Swords in a tile form. That's great. And I also have this paper art piece on both sides. It's not like a thick art piece of paper, but I will, when I do my own personal book for this deck, I will probably put this in there with it. All right, and so, by the way, this did not come with a book, but this is an RWS based deck, so don't really need a book, except maybe maybe I would want a deck. Sorry, I've got things on the back on this thing. Maybe I would want a booklet or something, or like a piece of paper, just to say which characters are on each card, because while this is Alice in Wonderland themed, there are several characters that are, you know, I don't know who this character is, so it would be nice to know who that character is. But it opens lovely. This is my favorite kind of box for tarot decks, and I also want to say that I am thoroughly impressed with this deck. There's a whole bunch of Alice in Wonderland decks out there, just showing the box real quick. There's a whole bunch of them, and like, we are definitely not, we're definitely spoiled in the tarot community when it comes to Alice in Wonderland decks. So there's lots of different options for Alice in Wonderland decks, but this one drew me in the most. Yeah, so, and I will also say that I'm pretty sure this is that rose petal finish that a lot of people talk about. It feels like it to me. I mean, I don't know exactly, because I've never had an official rose petal finish deck, but the way this deck feels, and here's the title card here. The way it feels like a rose petal to me. But, and I'll show this later on, a lot of people complain about the rose petal cards because they have trouble shuffling them. I have found that this deck is super easy for me to shuffle. Riffle shuffle too. So I don't know, but they are a little bit difficult to separate this way, to slide this way. So I don't know if it's rose petal or if I'm way off the mark, but yeah. And also at the top here, this is the extra card. It came with 2 sun cards. I'll set this to the side and we'll pull this one out again when we get to the sun card. So, yeah, so I really love the art style of this deck. I guess I'll just lay it down here and maybe zoom in. Let's see. Yeah, I will zoom in. Oh, and do you like the background? Because this will be the inside of the bag that I'm going to make for this deck. I'll show the other fabric a little bit later. So the art style of this deck, to me, reminds me very much of like a Nickelodeon kind of artwork. Modern Nickelodeon cartoons from like the past 10 years or so. Yeah, it sort of makes me think of Gravity Falls, and I don't know if I'm off the mark there. I haven't really watched that show, a little bit here and there. I have kids in the right age frame for that show, but for some reason this deck makes me think of that show. So I really love the artwork in this deck. It just draws me in. Really like this Chariot. Strength I love. Oh, and I noticed when I was putting these back into order that the Lovers card didn't have a number on it. Oh, wait, it is. Okay, I just saw it. It's in his cloak. When I was going through and putting these back in order, I noticed that. I was like, where is the 6 for the Lovers? But I just saw it. Okay, so it's there. It's there. All right. See, because, like, I don't know who this character is, or if this is an actual character from Alice in Wonderland, or if it's just created for this deck, because there's a lot of, this is Alice in Wonderland themed, but it does also go its own way in several different cards. So I don't know if every single character in this deck is specifically from Alice in Wonderland. I really like this Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is one of those cards that is usually very, I don't know, blah, I guess. There are some really good Wheel of Fortune cards, and this I would count as one of them. I really, really like this Wheel of Fortune card. And it almost, to me, it feels like whatever's going on here, there was a choice made, and whatever the consequences are of that choice are out of your hands, and you just kind of have to deal with it and brace for impact, you know. And that's sort of how I would interpret this Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Justice. You know, we have these the card people. Love this Hanged Hatter. Love this one. The Death card. This is very interesting. We got one of those Knights of Hearts. Yeah, very interesting. Like that. Temperance. Yeah, they are. It does sort of feel like sometimes that there are cards stuck together, so these cards don't like slide off of each other very easily, but they shuffle really nicely, and surprisingly, because, and I don't know if this is that rose petal finish or not. I like this Tower card, very interesting. Instead of a tall tower, we have basically a you know, more horizontal instead of vertical, horizontal tower here, because it's the maze, and it's just all this fire and destruction and her running away and being chased by the card people. Yeah, really good for the Tower card. Very inventive too, and takes that tower meaning and just goes in a different direction with it, and I really like that. Yeah, so I don't know if this is rose petal finish or not. It feels like it is, but everyone complains about rose petal finish in that it doesn't shuffle well. And like I said, I do have issues sliding the cards like this way, but shuffling it, the size of the cards and everything, they just shuffle nicely for me. So I don't know. All right. Oh, here's the Sun card, and this is the one that I chose to keep in the deck, and I chose this one. Here's the two side by side. They're almost identical. I think the only difference that I can really see, the coloring is a little bit, I guess, brighter in this card, and the 19 in this one is dark, whereas the 19 in this one is light and then outlined in like a dark gray. And I chose this one because it seemed to me that most of the other cards in the deck had this same coloring of the number. So for continuity's sake, I went with this one. So, but we do have an extra Sun card, and I'll probably use it as like a bookmark or something, or I don't know, whatever. Judgment. It's the rabbit. I can't think of the name. The rabbit sort of sounding off a judgment, and the Mad Hatter, the Alice, the Cheshire Cat, and the mouse in their coffins here, or waking up, or something like that. Yes, very interesting. And then the world card. Pretty typical world card. All right, so I'm going to speed a little bit quicker through the minors here. Yeah. Okay, so that was a walkthrough of all those cards, and a little bit into it, I started pulling out some of my favorites. And like I pulled out the Two of Cups because I just like that it's the Mad Hatter and the hair. Yeah, make sure I'm in frame here. I also liked the Five of Cups because I just liked that it's depicting the eat me and drink me things for Alice here, and how she was getting so upset because, you know, one was making her too big, one was making her too small, you know, things like that. And when she started crying, and it kind of made things worse for her. So I just like how they depicted this for the Five of Cups. It just made a lot of sense. I also really like this Nine of Cups. It's a really fun card. It makes sense instead of, and you know, because one of the, I guess, kind of shadowy sides of the Nine of Cups could be an overindulgence, but it's sort of a having plenty, and instead of it being represented by wine, it's represented by the caterpillar's hookah, which I find very interesting. I also like the Ten of Cups, mostly because it just made me happy. Let's see. I really like, the Seven of Swords. I really like this one. That there's like a deception going on. The walrus bringing in these the clams for what they think is a good time, but he's really just wanting to eat them, and that really fits in well with the Seven of Swords. I really like this Ace of Coins, and I cannot explain why, because I don't know who this character is. If you know who this character is from Alice in Wonderland, let me know. But I think I just really like the imagery of this, and he kind of looks like a gold miner, something like that. Like a oh god, I cannot think of the name of that word. Excuse me. Yeah, I can't think of the word. So yeah, I just like this card. And I also liked this Nine of Coins, but I don't know who this character is either. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing as this Ace of Coins. I just like the image of the card. Excuse me. And I don't know who this is, so if you know, let me know. I also liked the Four of Wands, which I didn't pull out because I hadn't started, I didn't start pulling out cards until a little bit later, but I also liked the Four of Wands. Yeah, so, the cardstock, it's, It's medium thickness. It's not super thin. It's not super thick. It's real nice and bendy. I like it. Some people might think this is a little too thin. I don't know. Oh, I never showed the back. This is the back. I do like the back. I think, so the other YouTuber, Terra Oracle, he has one of the prototype decks of this. And I like the back on his more than I like the back on this one. But that's just personal preference. As far as shuffling, I was supremely surprised by this deck because I can shuffle this easily. I have tiny, tiny hands, but I'm able to easily shuffle this, and it bridges nicely. Like, this deck shuffles really nicely for me, which I was very surprised by because this does feel like Rose Petal to me. I may be way off the mark. I may have absolutely no idea what Rose Petal cards are, but this feels like what people are talking about to me. The only criticism with this, as far as the cardstock goes, is that it, like I said, it is difficult to separate it like this way, and which is how I do pick cards. I shuffle for as long as it feels right, and then I separate it and start pulling cards like that. So the fact that they do stick a little bit when separating this way is a bit of a, I guess, slight complaint for me, but at least I can shuffle it. And there's so many decks that come out that have been coming out in the past 5+ years that the card thickness or the size are way too huge for my tiny child hands. And but I have no issues with that for this. So as you can see, this is the background I'm using for this, and this will be the inside fabric for the bag I'm going to make. I'm not going to use an embroidery with this deck because the outside fabric is going to be this. Let me see if I'm in frame. Yes, I am. So this is super cool. Love this. It's got, you know, the drink me, the pocket watch, a teacup, a crab, the mouse, a fan, a bird, one of those, I forget those types of birds, and then Alice here. Really love this fabric. I thought it was perfect, and I really did think about getting getting an embroidery to put on the front, or getting a patch or something, an Alice in Wonderland patch. But at the end of the day, I just really like this one. So I'm going to have this as the inside, this fabric is the inside, and this is the outside, no patch. The ribbon that's going to go all around, oops, it's upside down, is going to be this one. Let me pull it down here. So that will be the ribbon. So yeah, it's Alice in Wonderland themed and from the same set as these two fabric came from. And I just pulled this out. This may be my pull string. And this is like a neon green color, which also matches the bag stuff. And I used this for the bag that I made for the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and I really, really, really like the way that deck came out. And this like neon greenish yellow ribbon looks so cool with it, and I think it will also look cool with this. So so yeah, that is the bag that I'm going to make for this. There will be a video out probably at the end of this month, maybe the beginning of July, going over all the decks that I got in May and June, because I'm not planning on getting too many decks in June. And the decks that I have, I'd like to create bags for as many of them as possible. So I'm going to spend June making bags for these decks. But I'm also super, super busy because work is finally getting done on our kitchen, and I'm painting the door to our ritual room from the kitchen. I'm painting that right now, especially since the workers are not going to be here for until a little bit into the week. So I'm spending this time painting that door. So I'm not doing a whole bunch of sewing this week, but I do plan to do some. And by the end of the month, I hopefully will have a bag for this deck, and I will have a bag for the other decks that I've gotten in May and June. Oh, and one more slight, I guess, slight negative I will say about this deck before I close out. I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of the deck art, of the box art. I love the style of the box, and I really like the inside. This I really like. This I like a lot. I think I'm just not a big fan of the way they did the logo here, and it might be the red initials. I don't know. There's something that throws me off with this design. So obviously does not matter. But it was something that I was thinking about before I started this video. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to mention that. Not the biggest fan of the box art itself. But like I said, it's going to be in a bag, and I guess that's just personal taste. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Really, really, really love this deck. I cannot wait to play with this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!